I like Uptown Link Up. Yes, sir. Hello?
Hello.
Is this Uptown Link Up?
Yes, it is.
Oh, best program ever.
Come back and be this passionate about this.
How do we, as Jamaicans, then know our history?
5 goat in killer weekend time. And him know 3 goat meat.
And remember the elderly that make this possible that everyone, because without the senior.
Who start to dig the post hole when light decides to come in. You never have no sidewalk and you have to bang from the side.
Program today we're having Mr. Prilly Hamilton, and he's gonna expound on some of what he went through in Hermitage, his life. We also have Mr. Dean Roden on our panel today, and I hope you enjoy this talk with Mr. Prilly Hamilton. Welcome, Mr. Hamilton.
It's a pleasure. Really, really a pleasure. I really find this indeed a pleasure based upon, I was officially born in a Hermitage. Actually, I came there when I was like age 4, 5 years old. And the rest is history in terms of a lot of my adult life, teenage life, adult life was in a Hermitage. And I hold it very dear to my heart because, in terms of friendships, I developed a lot of friends in Hermitage who I hold very close to my heart because at my age, I know we don't want a new friend. So I stick with the old friend that me have from me a teenager grow up.
Which year you came in and what did you see when you came into the community of Hermitage?
Well, I moved to that community when where my house was, right on Beaumont Road, 37 Beaumont Road. There was no other house from that going down the road.
Yeah.
Everything was further up, right?
Yes.
Actually, there's a couple of mortals, so to speak, who really helped to build all these houses that people live in now. Down from my house, there was you remember the Fairweather?
Yes.
Good. Your father, Mr. Fairweather, was a man who really helped build all the houses from my house go down. Him, man like Mr. Rupee, man like Mr. Terry, man like Aston uncle, Mr. Roddy, the whole of them man, they helped to build those houses down from me. I guess a lot of people didn't know this, but as a youth growing up now, you find that you used to help them mix mortar and all them. And at the end of the week, one thing, you get a little change in your pocket. You understand me? Help carry sand, help carry block, and them kind of thing there, right? So, and this was in the year, about 58, somewhere there about.
Yeah.
Right? People like Tigo and Pancho and all them man, they was living in the community then.
Yeah.
What I find very interesting is that the kind of camaraderie that in terms of the friendship that I developed over the years there. Plus, these guys are very, very innovative because right now we don't have that sort of thing. But I remember in my time, we used to have like youth clubs. Yes, you have Spotlight Youth Club.
Yeah.
And that took a lot of the spotlight on the youth. And so we developed our sports, or cricket. I remember the next man who started that club was Clovis Haynes. You remember Clovis?
Yeah.
From Mr. Rupee?
Yes.
He started a club around there. I don't quite remember the name of his club, right? We had if you can remember, man like Tigo and them man, there was people who played cricket very, very well. Tigo could have been a representative of West Indies team because he was so good, right? Remember people like Yaga, Lawrence Rowe, And these people used to lift them up to this guy because he was extremely good at the game in terms of batting and bowling, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe what happened with Tigo is that maybe the kind of discipline that it took to move from that level to the next level. I guess he never really did commit it that way. You understand me?
Yeah.
And as a result of that, you know what I mean, he has always been a talked about individual who could have been really an excellent cricketer coming out of Hermitage. Because all these guys, let me tell you, the Lawrence Rowe, the Yagan, all of these guys used to bow down to Tiger, man, so to speak, with his and his talent. There will come a time when in my time now we developed this football thing, and I was a part of the Hermitage football team. And because of the amount of teams within the area, right, we couldn't enter the big league football thing. We call it again, Dean?
Major League.
Major League.
Mm-hmm.
You had Augustone, you had Ellison Flats, and them said too much teams in that area, the Mona, so they couldn't put in another team, which is the Hermitage Major League. But then again, we were so good because remember people like Wally Chung and Bumpy and all them man, they used to play for Flats or Augustone, but our Hermitage never come from. So, yeah, man. So we had an excellent football team. Right?
Talent was rich in sports.
Rich talent. And you know, outside of that, now you know about the musical part of the whole thing, where a lot of talent came out of Hermitage in terms of music, right? I would specifically say I was one of them who we started. I went to Excelsior High School, and you start a thing at Excelsior called I Stedford, where houses competed against other houses. Well, my house decided to enter a band, of which before that you had some guys like a guy named Bentley Ray, a guy named Wayne Harmon, Courtney Robb, who died recently, and Brian Horton, and these guys. We formed a group called Hell's Angels. I used to sing with Hell's Angels, but I actually end up learning to play drums. So playing the drum, now, when I stayed for that school, I ended up being the drummer and the singer. And my host won the competition that year, right? After that, the Hells Angels, and I was a part of that for a good little while. And then my parents now said to me, Prilly, I don't understand you. I spend how much money to send you to school, and then all you want to come to now a musician, worthless musician, and you know the thing, because them fix the music. What happened now? I decided to go and I get a fight with it. So me drop out of the Hells Angel, and I started going to UWI. I was doing medical technology, because at the time medical technology was only offered at university. Now it's being done at UTech. Yes. But before, in my time, you have to do it at UWI. And I end up doing medical technology. You find that, I remember Ibu was on campus at the time, and Ibu said to me, boy, you know, we have got school and you don't want to join in a circle. And I went ahead and I joined with Inner Circle. And I was singing with Inner Circle for quite a while. We went on a couple of tours with them. One of the first tours that I did with them was in Washington, D.C. at a place called the Mayflower Hotel that we performed at. There's a guy called Darren Green who happens to be, he was at Howard University at the time. And he was one of the organizers for this fundraising thing for his group. There's another guy named Bevan Pressure who knew me, and at the time Bevan used to live in Ellison Flats. So he got in touch with me, and we decided, okay, we get Inner Circle. Come on. That was one of my first tour going to Washington, D.C., the States, with Inner Circle. After that, we went
Before you move on to that, did you guys at Inner Circle did any recording, any songs that we can reference?
Yeah, man, there's an album with which I was featured on with Inner Circle. What I'll do, I'll get the jacket and I'll do the jacket for you. You can pick all of that. At the time, there was a guy named Funky Brown who used to sing with the band, myself and Funky Brown. Funky Brown was from Bermuda, because at the time, you had a lot of students at the university who used to, form a lot of groups. You ever hear about the Monkeys? Them call themselves the Monkeys, or a group of doctors.
I heard about them.
Yes, there's a group of doctors. All of them was doing medicine, right? And Funky was the only one where I think Funky did history. He was doing history. But the rest of the guys was doing medicine. And they had this group called the Monkeys, which we used to perform a lot with them, sing with them. Anyhow, the Inner Circle, we went, we toured to Belize. I remember going to Belize, South America, about twice with the Inner Circle band. That was some great experience. I have learned a lot from the Inner Circle band. And
in those times, it was more like groups. Persons would more want to be associated with groups. And why was that?
That's the era we're coming from, because that era was a time when bands were the thing that carried the swing. If you having a dance or a party, right? If you want to get people to come to the dance or the party, you have to hire a band.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
The disco or the set only play when the band take a break.
Yeah.
Right? And matter of fact, if the disco play too long, people don't want to hear that. People want to hear live music.
Yes.
So that's the era that I'm coming from. That's why you had people like Sly and Robbie used to play with a group named Skin, Flesh and Bones. All of these guys coming from a back. You remember Irvin Brown?
I heard the name. I would have to reacquaint myself.
No, the Brown them used to live right at the corner of Bailey Road.
Yes.
Right? Front of Mr. Clark. Yes.
We call him Talos. Remember, he did a cover of Al Green tune. Here I am, baby. Come and take me by the hand. You remember that song?
Yes.
That was a big hit for him, right? That's one of our product coming out of Hermitage too. We call him Talos. Him used to sing with Skin, Flesh and Bone. There was another guy who had he is living in DC now, and he has a band, and he had a couple of hits too. Hey, Fatty Boom Boom, let me tell you something, right? That brother came from Hermitage too. And he had a couple of hit songs. We call him Soji, right? And Al Brown now was Skin, Flesh and Bone, and he got that big hit from the Al Green song, right? Yeah. Both of them living in DC now, I think. Yeah, both of them live in DC. But you know the Brown, Dan.
Yeah.
Yes. But I tell you, Prilly, I am so amazed with you, and I tell you, history unfolded itself today. As an ambassador representing the country for the past over 30 years, I could tell people that Prilly was my neighbor. But
yes,
as Mr. Concham, Mr. Sean said, things that you have said. This program have started, and there's so much history unleashed. Did you know that we are celebrating our 70th anniversary of development in Hermitage this year?
No, I didn't know that. Really?
So just from this, and I said you have said so many things that I didn't even know, and it's an honor to have you and a pleasure. And as you know, I was telling someone, growing up as a child, we could not go and do anything. We couldn't play marble without getting the approval of our elder. You has been our role model. We couldn't fly a kite, as a kid growing up tell us about, those days as a youth. We were so disciplined. We can't shoot bird without being organized.
Yeah, well, you see, we are coming from an era where discipline and respect is a part of our culture because we were brought up in this manner. Our parents were strict disciplinarians. I can recall, I won't tell you if I was a saint. I was far from that. I remember when my mother used to send me to church. And we used to go to church on August in the bamboo church. Instead of me going to church, me make sure that my brother and sister them in the church and me go on a river. And when you go a river, you spend so much time in the water. When you come out of the water, you're white like chalk.
Yes.
Yeah. Can't hide. When church actually will finish at them telling me I reach back now and clean up myself and think. And when me go home now, tell me sister them say, you see me at church. When as them go and tell them, I said, me never there at church. Me come in church almost done. That time I remember me there. Anyhow, that is, part of us youth a grow up, kind of mischief that you carry on when you're youth and supposed to adhere to certain things. And yeah, I guess you do. But at the same time, we still have respect and we are very manageable to our parents. Why the community, a lot of the youth, them within the community grew up under strict parented guide, and as a result of that, you find that we were really disciplined children. We not the outer the business and the badness and everything was not part of our forte. Our little mischief is parent Ghana work and then Ghana work and we dey on holiday, we dey on the common and play football or play cricket till 3 o'clock. Most of them soon come home. Then we go on with the way we're supposed to do. That when them come home, say they got sweep up and clean up, right?
Yeah.
But that's our thing.
Beautiful. You were speaking about the music, and somehow I believe that you are not finished with speaking about the music. We heard about growing up. We heard about catcore coming around in our vicinity. What was that about?
Well, actually, like I said, because of the same Hells Angels band thing, we used to practice at the guy house in the Drisdale. Drisdale used to live in Barbican Road. On Barbican Road, Cat used to live just on Charlemont, just up the road from the Drisdale. And him used to come down when we used to practice down at Drisdale house. He formed a group called the Alley Cats, and that's why he got the name Cat. Yes. His group was called Alley Cats, and that's how he got the name Cat. Anyhow, when I actually started with the Inner Circle band with the group, Cat was already a member of the group. So, because of me and all them things, them man used to come to my house all the while. That poor youth, I go in the ghetto and thing. Them man always come to my house, come look for me. And when Third World started too, you remember Tipper?
Yes, I remember Tipper Dread. We're speaking to Mark the other day, and he alluded to Tipper Dread was a main person.
Yes.
In that time.
We wanted a road, somebody to go on the road and do things on the road. So me go for Tipper. And me carry Tipper come and Tipper started working with the band. Alright? Setting up the instruments, them and that kind of a thing. And Tipper was with the group for quite a while. Now, that is that's Third World. Now, the transition from Inner Circle to Third World was in 1973. I remember the last gig that played with the Inner Circle band. We were playing for this guy named Hurry Sinclair in Westmoreland, Sablamar. He used to put on a lot of dance and things. And as I told you, that era was a time when band music carried the swing. You can't draw people out of the yard or anywhere unless a band is playing. I said to Cat, I remember I said to Cat, Cat, watch out. I'm gonna leave this thing in. in a circle. And I'm going to go farm my own band. So Cat said to me, said, why if you are leaving up Prilly, I stay. Me I go come and work go farm my own band. I said, all right, cool. Last Ibu now, who actually took me to Inner Circle, hear me and Cat talk and said, boy, anything we do, we mustn't leave him out of it. So all right, we went on this gig to Salvamar. I can recall some incident happened along the way. While we were driving, it was a rainy day. It was raining like hell. And while we were on our way to Salvamar, when we reached on the Mandela Highway, we got a puncture. We decided to no, all right, we've got to change the tire. We come out to the car, rain and fall like hell, man. So change the tire. Car all pass and splash with, man. So when the car splash, we said, chop, a big thing, water. When we looking at the water, where the car splash with, no one dead dog we see in the water.
Oh God.
Every man starts spit and wipe their face, and that was something else. On our way to Salvamar, I remember which of this name. For some reason or another, the car broke down. I don't quite remember what was the problem, but it broke down. And about 50 meters from us, a lightning strike.
Wow.
And it, yes, man, and it catch the coconut tree on fire. I can't forget that incident. Right now, I lies lightning strike and catch a coconut tree on fire in front of where I lies. We move on, went to Salvamar, we played the gig, it was good. That was the last gig that we played with Inner Circle. Cat father was the Minister of Finance at this time, so he was living at Vale Royal.
I don't want to cut you, but Inner Circle still went on to be a performing band after that, though.
It still was a performing band. As a matter of fact, they rose to prominence after that time because Jacob Miller did singing with them. There was a brother named Charlie Roberts. She's Dr. Charlie Roberts. No, when Ibu left, he became the keyboard player for Inner Circle.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember Charlie. Charlie's now a medical doctor. You know, the transition that those guys go through was one whereby they move from strength to strength, regardless of we leaving them a good core of the band left. I think they got other people.
The talent in those times was so rich that you could use one band and make three bands. Tell us about your association now with Third World, as you was saying.
Okay, my association with Third World is one whereby, like I told you, I was one of the principal directors or founder of the group. Myself, Cat, and Ibu. As I was saying, that Cat's father was the Minister of Finance then, but then again, we had no money to buy instruments for the group. Okay. So we said to Cat, talk to him, father, and see if we can get a loan. We went to his father, said, okay, he'll speak to Paul Chen Young, who actually was the head of Workers' Bank at the time. He made an appointment for us. Myself and Cat went to see Paul Chen Young. I remember he turned us on to a guy named Cleve Stewart, who was like his deputy at the time. If I'm not mistaken, it was, if it's not $4,000 US we got to bar, it was 10. Yes. And we got the money. And Cat and Ibu, I didn't go with them. They went to Washington because at the time, Darren Green, when we were in a circle, Darren Green, so we went to a place named Samash. It was Samash Music Store in Washington, D.C. We bought some instruments. We bought drum set. We bought organ called the Farfitzer. We bought amplifiers and so on. And then we started rehearsing. We started rehearsing at Vale Royal. Actually, the drummer then was a guy named Carl Barovia, which Carl used to play with Inner Circle too as well. Carl was the drummer. What happened now is that Carl used to work out here in Jamaica. And as a result of that, he worked on shift. So we were rehearsing and we started with a guy named Colin Les, that's the bass player. Well, when we decided to go on the road now and get Ricky and start working, Colin decided that Boy, him no want go on the road. He want to turn manager. So anyhow, we said, all right, so we in search of a new bass player. We search on, and a couple of guys never work out. Then I said to them, say, wow, I know a brother play guitar. Him can play bass. Me and him used to go to school because we used to the same at Excelsior. Brother named Richard Daly, we still know a member of Third World.
Yes.
And I went to Richie and I brought Richie to the band. And when I bring Richie to the band, the man them fall in love with Richie. And the rest is history. Yeah. The Third World thing now is that we start playing gigs. And I end up, when Carl was late, I end up playing drum for the band. Touch everything. But drumming, I used to play a lot of drums because I used to go on stage when thing, we go around the drum set and play. Me attack even when we're on tour as Third World, yes. Right? And sometimes if certain little things you have your hand with the guitar, I will play. I'm a play, you know what I mean? Anyhow, doing that and to survive. Now, after Carl left the band, we had to, there was this guy named Cornell Marshall, who we got as a drummer. Cornell started playing drum with us. Cornell was a paid member of the band then, because if we do a gig and we have $100 for the gig, the arrangement that we had was that we have to pay Cornell $90 out of it, and only $10 left for the rest of Monday. Them time we don't really have no responsibility. We don't have a chief, we don't have a child. We have to make sure that Cornell is a paid member of the group. We pay him.
The band go on. The thing keep going on.
Keep going. That in itself worked out pretty well. We went to England. There was this guy by the name of Evan Williams. He had a club, and we used to play at the club, and he actually became the manager of the group then, right? And with his contact, we ended up going to England. When we went to England, Chris Blackwell came and saw us. And so I said, he liked this group, so he was signed with. Evan Williams wanted us to sign to Atlanta Records because he knew somebody at Atlanta Records. But anyway, we ended up signing with Chris Blackwell. I did the first album with Third World then in England. Because I stayed in England for about 8 to 9 months. Yes. Living in England, doing the recording and doing gigs. Now, this is how we survived. We used to play gigs all over the place. At that particular juncture, Chris Blackwell is signed people like Jimmy Cliff, he signed people like Bob Marley and thing. Yeah. And I remember we opened for Bob Marley couple shows well, because Bob Marley have an album called Live at the Lyceum, and we actually opened for that particular show there, Live at the Lyceum. We played in Birmingham, we played in Manchester, couple gigs we played with it, open for it. I remember, I mean, like everybody else, we love Bob Marley. Bob Marley one away. Yeah. So after the gig now, after we open and I finish, I said to myself, Cat was always a Bob Marley fanatic. I said to myself, I want to see what Bob Marley make up. So I go in at the crowd now and stand up right in front. Man, it's when Bob done with my head, mash it up. Bob mash up my head, man. I said, but this brother are rough. Yeah. Right? Yeah, man, I was really and truly impressed. Anyway, we came back from England and we did a couple of gigs still, different things, and then we started touring with them in the States. Did a couple of tours with them. You name the place in the States. And we went there. I remember playing at places where they didn't have electric light up in the bush. Well, you see, what happened there was an era when after I left Third World, I did a lot of backup vocals with a matter of fact, a lot of Dennis Brown albums that he came out with. People used to do backup vocals like myself, Pam Hall, and Beres. Me, Pam Hall, and Beres used to sing a whole heap of backup vocals for like Joe Gibbs, because them time the most Dennis Brown thing will come out of Joe Gibbs. You see Beres on Lovers album there with One Step Ahead and You. Them song there. Yeah. All of them slow tune there. And me and Barry Sam all the background vocals, right? All of this happened after I left really Third World, and so I used to make some money. But there come a time when I couldn't really depend on that, and then I said to myself, I said, boy, I have a family now, I have kids, I have a wife, so I have to go deal with certain things. So
what was or what causes the exodus with Third World? You moving from that?
You see, let me tell you something. Then I was saying that success is that Eddie wine. Okay. When things start happening and you be successful, it's like everybody get drunk and get intoxicated.
Yes.
Well, most of the man them did kind of get drunk and intoxicated. And I was one of the man them who, when they come on to the level-headedness, have to try to keep the man them down. Me was one of them who keep them putting firm on the ground. I had a lot of influence in terms of the direction of the music of the band. I can recall that, like, if they're rehearsing a new song and I am actually not there, then we say, boy, watch it, I'm not doing nothing. Next thing when me come, I go change it. Actually, when me come, I go change it. I remember we just came from a tour, and when I came from the tour, we generally like take a break from each other for 2 or 3 weeks. We don't want to see nobody because I say we all live together 3, 4, 5, 6 months on tour.
Yeah.
So you want a break from these guys. I remember when we went back together now. One of them said, boy, me want to carry the band in one direction, and they want to go in another direction. So I said, why, I mean, we always work together. Why you want to carry the band in one direction and walk in another direction? So I start ask the rest of them, what them think. Well, all of them are echo where Ibu said, because Ibu was the band leader.
Yes.
And I turn up and said to them, you see, if you don't feel me, I want to carry in the direction when I want to go. Consider me no longer a part of this. And I walked. And then they get that.
And allow them to manifest themselves in a certain direction that they rather to go.
Yeah, but the point is that they never changed from the direction that I took the band in, so to speak. even today, even to now, if you listen like the Third World song, right, and you listen to our Bunny Rocks, people say, when them hear Bunny Rocks, them hear me. But the thing about it where I rate Bunny Rocks is that whatever level the band was at, he played a very pivotal role in terms of moving it from here and taking it up here.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Him lifting, and he did very, very well. As a matter of fact, I think Bunny was the voice of Third World. I started doing cabaret shows on the North Coast, and that was good to me. Very, very good to me. I mean, because the kind of money I used to make from doing the cabaret shows was excellent money back in them days.
Yes.
When me one night I'm gonna have to work, I wouldn't make that money there back in them time. Yeah, man. So me not complain. But then again, after time, after you do so much of this thing, after time you get tired of it. Because you get tired of seeing Yellow Bird and all this. That bird don't fly a long time, boss. That the bird fly away and gone a long time. So they couldn't,
Yeah.
But the rest is history. To date, I've done like a couple of things with them playing a Jamaican thing. I kept the card and I said, well, man, I'm coming down with it. I mean, go on.
I still see you sometime up here with Third World,
Yeah, man.
in recent times. After music in these groups and bands, what is it that Mr. Prilly Hamilton is doing at the present time?
Basically a businessman at this point in time.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of recording still with Sly and Robbie. Presently, what I'd love is that I have some friends of mine who we've been doing some work together. A brother named Mikey Basie. He lives in Florida. From time to time, we do little things together. As a matter of fact, I want to tell you, say, Mikey Basie, you remember when Britney Spears came out with her first album? Mikey Basie had 2 songs on that album.
Wow.
Yeah, man. He had 2 songs on that album. Yeah, well, you know where I like to work with a brother named Carlington.
Yes.
Very, very good singer. A very, very good musician. I like
Musician.
working with. I presently have like about maybe about 20 songs in the can, which some of them is sort of dated. So I'd have to go back and revisit them and update the sound and them kind of thing. But I have an album come this year. I'm definitely going to put up another album. Or Virgin Quinty Band, you know, so we do some of the things with him from time to time.
Yes. Yes.
And Mother and Quinty used to write a lot of songs.
Yes.
We used to write a whole heap of songs, right? And you know,
remember
Quinty, Quinty, I hold him on now, right?
Yes.
And I go on. Now, what I really want is at this particular point in time, I would like to do some work with this guy Carlington and also Mikey Basie. Some of these materials that these guys have, I want to showcase them because I would, you know what I mean, in terms of with the link that you have and you people have, that we can, with the click of a mouse, we get the song go all over the world, you know, and people listening to it. And because these guys are really talented people.
Yes.
And also I want to be with my stuff, right, in collaboration with these guys. So that is some of the plans right now.
I know you don't leave out the community of Hermitage.
My neighbors drink out them saying about.
Right. You know, tell us about the happy times, the happiest time you had in Hermitage.
No, well, to put it this way, it's hard to quantify the happy times because it's so much. And I still have a happy time because my group of fellas, you know, say we have a little thing where we play our domino up on the corner. So, and you know, say me no left the corner. Right? But if I supposed to do it all over again, I wouldn't choose another community, but Hermitage should do it again. To show the level of good times and happy times that I had, because in terms of the party era, the dance, the sport, the sporting, don't worry, man, we did it all. Yes. So I have no regrets in terms of my growing up at Hermitage and the experience I've had as a child, and what Hermitage has taught me, and what Hermitage has taught me to be a disciplined child, and I've kind of really happy with how my life has turned out at this point in time. And if it wasn't for the kind of background and the kind of thing I get from the people in Hermitage or living in Hermitage, I don't know, you know.
Any regrets?
None whatsoever. I tell you that if I have to do it again, I choose not a committee, but of myself to live again.
Beautiful, beautiful. We are speaking to Mr. Prilly Hamilton, founder and member of the Third World team, and also, as he had said, a member of the Inner Circle band. You know, ventured out on his own, did his own thing, still doing his own thing, and still being a member of the Hermitage community. We're speaking to Prilly Hamilton. Is there anything else that you would love to add?
Well, like I said, you know, Hermitage has gone through a lot of changes from a societal point of view, and you know the changes that we have gone through within that community. And but at the same time, right, we seems to manage to hold it down, have a level of educated people coming out of the community. So we know, say, well, then the communities have gone through some patches, but some of the elders who are there now trying to hold it together. There's a guy that I pay a lot of respect to, Maurice. You know, he really tried to hold the community together. And we're talking about from even an intellectual level. And we have a lot of these people coming up. So we know, so well, that why Hermitage, just like everywhere else, got through several changes, but still a good place to live and a good place to have your family. And, you know,
all is not lost.
All is not lost. All is not lost, right? It's kind of rough, but you have to just try stick with it.
If I may, Mr. Moderator, it's an honor, it's a privilege as one of the coordinator for, and I must give you good news because of people like yourself and Mr. Sean Grant. I got word from England that the entire South African region and the world have now put Hermitage on the map as an original destination for their tourist attraction. And I mean, it because of you guys, what you have been promoting and selling to the world. And I must share this news with you. I want to thank you. Your son also, Kimani Amlington is doing very well. They say the chip don't fall from the brick, and he's doing wonderful in Europe. Mr. Sean, his music is going all over the world, and I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you guys for the foundation that you're going. And I'm just gonna ask three things of you. We cannot have the sweet hummingbird or the hummingbird fly away without you singing our main thing for our 70th anniversary in Hermitage. And we can, I'll give you the time to make up these lyrics. Prilly Amlington support Reggae Hermitage. That's one. And for what Studio 99 has been doing for the community, I'd like one to use for the tourists, broadcasting, one for Studio 99. And I know you're now on the global chart for the world. February, the month is gonna be celebrating Reggae Month. And I want the world to hear that Prilly Amlington support global reggae. So I just give time.
Reggae Coke.
You're more advanced than me.
Yeah, man, but I want to leave you with this, Listen, I'll leave you with this. You gotta give thanks and praise to see another day. Cause the little that you have in life can be taken away. Don't take all the burdens of life on your shoulders. Remember, each day in life, you get older. Remember that.
Thank you. And that is for Regco, Reggae Hermitage. Reggae Hermitage, Mr. Hamilton. How do you feel about this kind of initiative?
But this is an initiative that good one. It's one where I think we elevate and uplift this community. So highlight some of the talent that's coming from the community. Because what I get to understand is that read this Regco thing, a lot of the music are people with affiliated with the Hermitage. I think our musicians, right? They will have a voice. They'll get a chance to send the music all over the world. And I'm glad to be a part of that initiative. And also, I will work tireless to make this a reality for myself and also for people who I represent.
Thank you, Mr. Hamilton.
You're most welcome.
We're really, really happy to have you today.
Big up to you and Dean, and enough respect. And it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Sir Hamilton. Thank you very much. We're speaking to Mr. Prilly Hamilton here on Uptown Link Up, leader and founder of the Third World Music Group, and also a former member of the Inner Circle team. We thank him for coming on the Uptown Link Up show tonight. Thank you, and we speak again.
I like Uptown Link Up. Yes, sir. Hello?
Hello.
Is this Uptown Link Up?
Yes, it is.
Oh, best program ever.
Come back and be this passionate about this.
How do we, as Jamaicans, then know our history?
5 goat in killer weekend time. And him no eat she goat meat.
And remember the elderly that make this possible that everyone, because without the senior.
Who start to dig the post hole when light decided to come in. You never have no sidewalk and you have the bank inside.